What's up, guys? It's me, Navigator Bay, and let's get into another video. We are reading the book, The Navigator Who Crossed the Ice Walls, okay? And of course, I'm going to be reading some from the book and notes because due to copyright. So let's get into Chapter 8, Human Greatness. The capital L, Arca, hope I got that right, received us. But as things were going so far, it was clearly not going to be a pleasure trip, at least not at the beginning. Butler ordered us to follow him, and after saying goodbye to the other officers, we immersed ourselves in this immense, luminous, and modern city that my mind so lacking in imagination would never had imagined. We tried not to lose sight of the captain, who never looked back, but as is his custom as a leader, he expected us faithfully companions to follow him without losing track. It was complex due to so because we were interrupted by the environment in every step we took. The whole group was very surprised. People filled the public spaces, restaurants, and vehicles seemed to always collide, but never did. Their maneuvers were almost perfect. In the big sky, transparent spheres were walking from one side to the other. Most of them were occupied by one person. But in some occasions, even two were seen driving those strange balloons that floated across the skies. Even when the news was fast spreading in every part of these lands, the citizens of El Arca were happily strolling around as if no war had just broken out just a few miles away. Separating from the captain would have left us in big trouble, as the language they used in the capital was not English, nor any language I could decipher. Another question was already adding into my mind. Would this be a native language? Perhaps the oldest one anyone has heard from any earlier humanity, and if so, where did it come from? I sank into my thoughts as I automatically followed the captain to the land of Anakim, imagining what such a place might be like. A part of me even doubted its existence. It was unbelievable to even imagine the possibilities of seeing giants. Giants, I asked myself, an inner voice. It was even strange to repeat it in my own mind. I think the whole group was in the same situation. We approached a place that appeared to be a large harbor. Many boats were resting. Butler asked us to wait for him while he went over to talk to the officer there. We took the opportunity to talk to each other. We were all living in a dream that at times turned into a nightmare. From the Eden that could be seen from the heights of the great forest, full of color, flowers, to the deadly and bloody roars of these apparently famous custodians, of which we had barely heard until now, and that perhaps I would have liked to never know. With the experience of a past war and battles at sea that I had under my belt, I could notice that the group was very united and with a lot of strength. I guess that the uncertainty was this knowledge with which we had collided unintentionally transmitted an immense desire that arose from within us to want to know more and more. We wanted as much information as possible to unravel this unknown human history in the lands where we were born. Y'all. All right. We are about to get into these notes. Morris, or AKA William Morris, if those are confused, and the group felt that they had bought the recent attack on the city, okay? They felt that was it possibly their punishment from escaping the known lands, our lands? Were the great walls of ice perhaps artificial, connected to the custodians? Was the custodians other humans, or were they a race we did not know? These were theories that were going through Morris and the rest of the team's heads. Butler approached the group to tell them they will be getting on a boat. The boat stood out the most. It looked similar to the one that approached them as they soon had crossed the walls. Everything was ready for them to leave for the Anakim lands, but they were going to stop by Captain Butler's lands first. Now this is the ship. The ship was very luxurious and modern. Everything was from a different era, unknown to them. The technology was advanced in light years. The ship was basically handling itself, okay? The outside was silent and fast. They could hardly even notice any movement while the ship was in the water. After a few minutes of sailing the extraordinary speeds, they were ready to descend. Now they end up arriving at this island. First, the island had a small but humble port. It was not so different than the ones that they had noticed in America. The homes were many, with shiny white colors that set among green rolling hills, if you can imagine that. Just nice green rolling hills, white, beautiful, shiny homes. Butler decided to leave his belongings on the floor. He was approached by a little girl that was 6 years old and a woman walking behind her. They were Butler, daughter, and wife, y'all. Butler stated cheerfully, "Welcome to my lands, comrades. This is my family." And see that coming. The team ended up settling in some houses adjoining to the captain's home. So, like house, conjoining homes. Use your imagination, guys. There's no pictures. They stayed 2 nights at that beautiful island. William, once again, a.k.a. William Morris, was able to express to the captain all the things that was going through his mind. But as usual, y'all know, Butler ended up stopping William, and he said this: "Their minds are somehow modified. To put it in a way you can understand me." Now, this is Butler, okay? "William, I tried to follow him with my eyes in the act of an inner emptiness, only waiting for him to develop that interesting and disturbing point." Butler then went on to say, excuse me, y'all, my voice went out. The ultimate humanity is dependent on your mind in a total extremeness. You do not detach yourself almost at any time with expectations. You imagine what exists and what is based on your thoughts. You imagine your image created by experiences and through others who also feeds back on others' thoughts, creating an immense network where each one identifies himself accordingly to where he was born, his status quo or physical condition, but this only does nothing but move away from the true human essence. Those who have the blood of the ancestral humanity do not have the permanent attack of the mind, with infinite thoughts mostly degrading, and that also mostly are inventions of situations that no longer exist or that will never happen. Humanity in each reset was approaching what the custodians want from us, because they were modifying both their bodies and minds as the environment, the lands you left behind, in an isolated world, unreal, where evil stands out, but those humans, your brothers, and mine too, although from another era, they are not what their minds think every day. This is why history is hidden, because if human greatness was known, then nothing could stop us from our growth. Because no one would live kneeling if they knew who is lying or tying them and using invisible leashes, that in that world inside the ice walls. That is deep. I had nothing to say. I remained silent and I kept my words to myself, so as not to cry. I had never heard the captain be so clear. His gaze was lost in the horizon. I kept that night as one of the many unforgettable nights I would have in these glorious and revealing lands. I asked some other important questions that you will soon understand from the story of what will happen. The next morning, when that strange sun would shine again, it would find us sailing towards the lands of the Anakim. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, this is good. This is getting good. It's good, y'all. I'm very excited. So, hope you guys did enjoy chapter 8. Of course, chapter 9 will be next. Leave some comments. Let me know. Possibly get the book, y'all. It's really good. And like I always say, do not obey. Stay woke. Peace.